Many of the NRIs have asked the questions by way of WhatsApp messages as well as in the comment section. What happens to the NRE FDs and the interest that comes from that when they return back to India for good and when they give up their NRI status? We had answered this query in many of the videos we have done in the past. Nevertheless, there are so many questions around it. We just thought, why not do an exclusive video on this subject and help you understand what exactly happens to these fixed deposits when you come back to India from a taxation angle, from a FEMA angle, and everything that you need to know about it. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
As a NRI, when you come back to India for good with an intention to take up an employment here or to practice a profession or to retire permanently here in India, what happens is you lose your NRI status as per the FEMA law. You had opened earlier NRE and NRO accounts as per the eligibility that you had as per the FEMA law. Now, once you come back to India and you lose your NRI status, then you need to be closing all your NRI accounts, NRE account and NRO account. FCNR account can be held till maturity. Now, as NRIs, the NRE fixed deposits enjoy a special status under the Income Tax Act. If you are having an NRE FD and if you are an eligible person to hold such accounts as per the FEMA law, then as per the Income Tax Act, the interest which is earned on NRE FD becomes completely tax free. Now, what happens when you come back to India for good? You lose your status of NRI as per the FEMA law, which means to say you have to immediately close your NRE and NRO accounts. In the recent past, we had done a video on when should the NRIs close these NRE and NRO accounts. If you had not watched this video till now, I'll be giving a link to this particular video here in the card section as well as in the description box below. Now, when you come back to India and when you are required to close these NRE account, the crucial question is what happens to your NRE FDs? I'll tell you the various possibilities here. Now, let's assume that you had booked an NRE FD for a maturity of 9 years and you had done this 4 years before. When you come back to India, there is still 5 more years left for the maturity of this fixed deposits. What should you do? As per the FEMA law, what I said was you have to close your NRE accounts. Now, the question is, should I break these FDs or can I continue to hold it as an NRE FD for rest of the period? The answer here is you cannot hold these FDs as NRE FDs. Nevertheless, you need not break them. What I mean to say is, if you have contracted for an FD for 9 years, you have every right to hold this up till that maturity date, but hitherto this fixed deposit was categorized as NRE FD and you enjoyed the tax-free interest on that. Once you come back to India and when you close your NRE account, these fixed deposits without breaking them can be categorized as resident FDs. What is the advantage for you? The advantage is when you originally booked the interest on these FDs, let's say for 9%, and the current prevailing interest rate is 5%, you don't have to lose that booked interest when you come back to India. You can extend these fixed deposit, but they will no more be categorized as NRE FDs. They will be recategorized as resident FDs back home in India. Now, what happens to the interest? Many people have asked, okay, I booked this FD 4 years back and they are going to mature after another 5 years. That is 9 years later, when I get that big amount of money, will all the interest become taxable in India at the time of maturity? The answer to this question is, please understand, the interest you get from your bank FDs is not coming under the capital gains section. It comes under Income Tax Act. So it is treated as in your income. Now, when you say it is treated as your income, it is the interest that you get from fixed deposits will be added to your income every year and applicable rate of taxation will apply. Now, let us look at in this particular scenario now here. You had booked these NRE FDs for a period of 9 years. Now, as an NRI, you have spent 4 years of your time outside of India. Now, the interest that is earned for these 4 years when you are an NRI is completely tax free. But once these FDs get recategorized as resident FDs, the interest that you get from that day onwards will become taxable as your income in India. You may have a doubt. I had booked these FDs 4 years before and it matures after 9 years. How will I know what is going to be my interest income for that particular year? The answer is very simple. Talk to your bankers. The banks will give you every year the interest earned certificate. What is the interest that you have earned on these fixed deposits for that particular year? Collect this certificate, give it to your chartered accountant, and your chartered accountants will do all the rest of the things for you. So you don't have to worry about paying the income tax for all the interest that you have earned in the past 4 years when you are an NRI. You should be paying income tax only for the interest that you get when you become a resident Indian. Hope I am clear on this subject. Many people have also asked a question. I will have an RNOR status when I go back to India. Because of my RNOR status, I am not liable to pay taxes on my NRE FDs. Is it true? The answer is RNOR status and NRE FDs are two different things. RNOR status is a sub-status under the resident Indian category for income tax purpose. There are only two categories actually, main categories. One, you are an NRI under income tax, and then you are a resident under the income tax for India. For returning NRIs, there is one another category which has been put in between. This is called resident, not ordinarily resident. Generally, people get for about 2 years if you are staying outside of India for long periods of time. Even for an RNOR, what is exempted is your overseas income. If you have some income to come from outside of India during this transition phase, your income from your overseas is tax free during RNOR status. During the RNOR status, every income that you get in India is taxable. Now, when your NRE FDs get recategorized as resident FDs, the interest that you get on this resident FD is an Indian income. So, obviously, the income that you get in India is taxable. So, RNOR status will not give any immunity when it comes to question of taxation of NRE FDs when they get recategorized into resident FDs. So, RNOR status only gives you protection for your overseas income. When we talk about NRE FDs, there is one another question that comes to my mind. Many people say, I have forgotten to inform the bankers. I have not converted NRE FDs for a long period of time. I have come back to India many months before or a few years before. What happens to such NRE FD interest? Who is responsible for not closing this particular account? Is it the banker's responsibility? Is it the individual's responsibility? Just because of being forgetful or just because of negligence? If I hold it, can I still enjoy the tax-free status on my NRE FDs? Let's understand this particular point a little bit more in detail. Now, Income Tax Act says the interest earned on NRE FD is tax-free when you are holding these NRE FDs or NRE account as per the eligibility of under FEMA law. If you are still continuing to hold an NRE FD and an NRE account, then the tax exemption that you get under income tax will not be available for you even if you are holding your NRE FDs or NRE account. Any interest you get from that will become taxable in India as per the Income Tax Act. Why? Because you have violated the FEMA law. As per the FEMA law, once you have come back to India, you are supposed to have closed these accounts. In violation of FEMA, you have still holding this account. That's why even if it is an NRE FD, under such circumstances, the interest income that you derive will become taxable. This is one consequence. The second consequence is you are violating the FEMA law. The penal actions applicable under the FEMA law could be chasing you, and these penalties could be quite harsh if you get caught. So it's always better to be on the right side of the law, follow the law, and once you come back to India, within a reasonable period of time, close your NRE FDs, talk to your chartered accountant, and make necessary arrangements to pay the taxes in case you come under the taxable bracket. There are many NRIs who have crores of NRE FDs when they come back to India. All these years, they have enjoyed tax-free status on this interest income. They will be up for shock when they are told that this interest becomes taxable in India. What can you do? The only possibility left for you is you have to go for proper tax planning. This tax planning can start before you come back to India, or at least as soon as you come back to India. You have to speak to your financial planner, take their opinion, and see what are the options available for you to minimize your tax incidence. It is not possible to completely make it nil in most of the cases, but there is definite possibility to bring down your taxation to a great extent. If you have a financial planner, please talk to them, take their opinion, and go on the path suggested by them. If you don't have a financial planner, you can always make use of our services as well. You can reach out to us through a WhatsApp message on the number that is shown here on the screen. A simple request, please do not call us, just send us a WhatsApp message. Anyone from our team will respond to you, and we'll see what best we can do to bring down your taxation to the bare minimal levels. Dear viewers, hope the topic that I discussed today helped you understand what happens to your NRE FDs when you come back to India and when you give up your NRI status. If this helped you to understand this particular subject, please like this video. If you are a person watching this channel for the first time, or if you are yet to subscribe for this channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with you with yet another topic and yet another video very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.